What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into another edition of NBA Now from Chat Sports. And with you, as always, I'm your host, Jimmy Crowther, breaking down the latest news and rumors going around the association. And today we start with the point guard that we've been talking about for a while, but there's more news coming out. Kyrie Irving may strongly be considering the Brooklyn Nets this summer. Yes, that's right, the Brooklyn Nets, not the New York Knicks, the other New York team, the Brooklyn Nets. Now, the report was that his camp, quote-unquote camp, has been keeping a close eye on the Nets all season long. And they really love what they're building over there. They love their chemistry. They love what they've been doing on the court. You saw them get to the NBA playoffs. They were a 7th seed, but nobody really expected them to sneak in. So we take a look at what Brooklyn did. Another thing that they want to do, they want to pair D'Angelo Russell and Kyrie Irving together. Now, D'Angelo Russell is also a free agent this summer. He's a restricted free agent, but the Nets believe that the two can not only coexist, but they can flourish together in the Nets system and in Brooklyn. And you can also see that the Nets have the best odds. Las Vegas gave them the best odds to land Kyrie this summer at plus 250. That's better than New York. That's better than any other team. You see the teams that are interested in him this summer. New York, Boston, his team that he's with right now, don't count them out. There's always a lot of drama between Kyrie and Boston, but there could be a return coming. You see the Los Angeles Lakers coming in at number 4, and then the Los Angeles Clippers also showing some interest in Kyrie Irving. So what could the Nets look like if they add the star point guard, where you see Kyrie at the 1 and D'Angelo Russell at the 2? 2 point guards, but D'Angelo Russell can definitely play off the ball. Now, I've got Khris LeVert and Rodions Kurucs in there at the 2 forward positions. Even though LeVert is a shooting guard and Kurucs is a small forward, this is all they have on their roster right now. Now, let me remind you, Ed Davis is a free agent that they would love to bring back to slot into that power forward role next to Jarrett Allen, one of the most feared rim protectors in the league right now. If Kyrie and D'Angelo Russell can coexist, that could easily be one of the best backcourts in the NBA next summer. But that's only if Kyrie signs with Brooklyn. Look, they're the favorite. Vegas has them as the favorite, but where do you think Kyrie Irving is going to sign this summer? Put it in the comments section so I can take a look. I can give you a little evaluation. If you got a sleeper team for me, let me know down below. Now, before we go any further, because we got a lot to talk about today, there's a lot of rumors coming out, as there always is in the NBA, where drama just happens all the time. I want to make sure you guys are subscribed to youtube.com/chatsportstv. Why? Because we're putting out great stuff all week long, every day, all off season, through the NBA Finals. And guess what? June 20th, NBA Draft, we're going live for it. So you want to make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a thing on Chat Sports. Now, number 2, OG Anunoby, a name that you haven't been hearing during the playoffs. Why? Because he's been injured. He had an appendectomy, which I'm trying to pronounce right. Still don't know if I got it right. In April, he's been sidelined since April 12th. But the Raptors are becoming increasingly optimistic that their second-year forward is going to be able to make a return in the NBA Finals. Again, he hasn't played since April. Now, the biggest thing Anunoby brings to the Toronto Raptors is perimeter defense. But last season, when he was still with the Raptors had DeMar DeRozan. They were in the playoffs. He still put up pretty nice numbers all around. 7.9 points per game, 2.1 rebounds, not dishing the ball very well, but shooting nearly 45% from 3 in the run that the Raptors made last season in the playoffs. So now, why is it important for OG Anunoby to come back? It's not because of his offensive numbers. No, it's because they're playing who else but the Golden State Warriors. 5 straight finals appearances. They're looking for their 3rd straight finals victory. Now look, they may be without Kevin Durant and DeMarcus Cousins for the first few games. But that doesn't change the fact that this Warriors team has been absolutely dominant in the NBA playoffs. Let's take a look at what they've done throughout the series. 117 points per game. Where's that rank? First in the NBA playoffs. 48.7% from the field. Guess what? First. 3-point percentage, 37% from the team. First in the NBA playoffs. And then 3-pointers made coming in at 3rd in the NBA playoffs this season. So what does Anunoby do? He provides you with some perimeter defense to guard some of these stars that the Golden State Warriors have that put them where they have in these playoffs. But I want to know from you guys. Look, the playoff matchup is set. Toronto Raptors, first finals appearance in franchise history against the Golden State Warriors, who are an absolute dynasty, and probably everybody's rooting against them. But I need to know who's going to win and it's all up to you guys. This show is all about you guys. I want to know who you think is going to win the 2019 NBA Finals. Now, one guy that's not going to the 2019 NBA Finals, thanks to the Toronto Raptors, Giannis Antetokounmpo, entering free agency in 2021. Now, why does that matter right now? Well, the Milwaukee Bucks have some huge summer decisions to be made. They lost to Toronto in these Eastern Conference Finals. They did finish with the best record in the NBA at 60 wins. But you got 4 major role players entering free agency. But first, we got to look at 3 guys who have non-guaranteed contracts. They also got to make some decisions about these 3 guys: George Hill, Pat Connaughton, and Sterling Brown. Now, George Hill at $18 million, that would be the second biggest contract right now behind Giannis. That's absolutely ridiculous. Pat Connaughton carved out a nice role for himself in the playoffs. They have to figure out if they want to bring him back and get fully guaranteed at $1.7 million. And then Sterling Brown, really not much more than just a hype man off the bench for the Bucks at $1.6 million. Wouldn't be surprised if his money does not become guaranteed in Milwaukee. Now, this is where things get interesting. They're actual free agents. Khris Middleton, the only other All-Star on the Bucks, has a player option. He's opting out, almost 100% opting out, and probably looking for a max contract. Malcolm Brogdon, former Rookie of the Year, and then came back in this Eastern Conference Finals, made a huge impact, just not big enough, is a restricted free agent. So yes, they can bring him back, but things get dicey. They're absolutely wanting to bring back Brook Lopez, one of the best shooting big men in the league. And then Nikola Mirotic, probably not as much of a priority as these other 3 guys. Now, why does it matter? Well, Malcolm Brogdon, if they really want to bring him back, that puts them into the luxury tax. Now, they can bring back Middleton almost no problem. But once you get into that luxury tax, Giannis Antetokounmpo, eligible for a Supermax in 2020, you're going to be locked in luxury cap HE double hockey sticks for a long time in Milwaukee if you bring back all of these guys. So they kind of have to pick and choose. They can't bring them all back. They're going to have to decide. So who do they need to re-sign? Now, Middleton is the only other All-Star. Let me remind you. I believe he has to be the main target for the Bucks to bring back. You got to decide on Malcolm Brogdon because I'm sure some team is going to overpay for him as a restricted free agent. And then Brook Lopez. They said he's a priority. They're going to have to show it with the money they pay him this summer. Now, moving on from Milwaukee to Washington, where things are getting messy. Bradley Beal likely looking for a trade. He's probably tired of dealing with these rebuilding Wizards. He missed the All-NBA team. So what does that mean? Well, he becomes ineligible for a Supermax, meaning he doesn't have a lot of incentive to stay in Washington. So who wants him? The Los Angeles Lakers, of course, because they want everybody. But Bradley Beal actually makes sense for the Lakers. Now, the problem becomes they want Lonzo Ball in a potential trade for Bradley Beal. The point guard, second-year guy, got some areas to improve on, but he could be a long-term solution for the Washington Wizards. But here's the thing. Reports from NBC say that even if they don't get Lonzo Ball in a trade, there could be some fair value with 2 other guys and their number 4 overall pick. So who are we talking about? Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, and the number 4 overall pick shipped out to Washington, who, let me remind you, also has a pick in the top 10 for Bradley Beal. I think this is a great deal for both teams. LeBron James and the King, LeBron, the Lakers, they get an established player in Bradley Beal to help them push for the playoffs. And the Wizards get 2 really nice young pieces to help them start this whole rebuild. And then they get the number 4 overall pick. Right now, I would project they take someone like DeAndre Hunter or Jarrett Culver. And then the number 7, I believe it is, overall pick, where they could take anybody else. They could take a wide range of guys in Washington. But the question was about this whole thing was Lonzo Ball. So what do they need to do with Lonzo Ball, the Lakers? Do they need to trade him? If you think they need to trade Lonzo Ball this offseason, type T in the comment section below. If you think they need to keep him, type K in the comment section below for trading or keeping Lonzo Ball. Now we're sticking in LA because the King, he's already started recruiting a bunch of players. Kawhi, Jimmy Butler, Kyrie Irving, yeah, he's reached out to all of them. He's already talking to all of them. The report is that he reached out via text to Kawhi and Jimmy Butler, and he's been hanging out in public in LA with Kyrie Irving. So you look at the guys that he's potentially recruiting. Obviously, the Raptors superstar carrying them to the NBA Finals, Kawhi Leonard. Jimmy Butler had a great playoff run with the Philadelphia 76ers. And then Kyrie Irving, the ex-teammate of the King, in Boston, entering free agency, possibly looking at the Lakers. So then you look at Jimmy Butler, a guy that LeBron's reportedly been texting could be a great fit for the Lakers because of his two-way ability. One of the great two-way players offensively and defensively is Jimmy Butler. But the question is, are the Lakers going to be willing to pay him a max contract? Because the Clippers aren't. The other team in LA, they don't want to pay Jimmy Butler a max contract. Now the other guy, Kyrie Irving, huge decision for him this summer. It's going to be a big mystery what he does. We already talked about him being interested in going to the Nets. Is he going to be interested in re-teaming up with LeBron James? A lot hinges for Kyrie Irving on what Kevin Durant does this summer. If he goes to New York, Kyrie Irving is likely looking at New York. Now, one other guy that I mentioned at the very top of this segment, Kawhi Leonard. But my question is, why would Kawhi Leonard really want to look at LA? Why would he want to play in the Kings' shadow? That's a big question. Does he want to stay in Toronto? Does he want to go to LA? Who knows? This is a big summer for a lot of big name free agents and a lot of teams, not just the Lakers, not just the Nets, not just the Celtics, not just these teams we mentioned today, but all the teams in the NBA have a lot of big decisions to be made this summer. But I want to know who you want your favorite team to sign. Two-parter here. Tell me your favorite team. Tell me which free agents you want them to sign this summer in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you guys next time.